Another great way to use screencastomatic is to help with close and critical reading strategies. Since I have an English background, I'll use an article and using highlighting and annotating of this article that you can model for your students. So it's a great modeling tool that your students can look over again and again on their own pace. So if you go to, let's say we go to CNN.com, and you want them to, you find an article you want them to read, but you don't want all of these pop-up ads, you don't want these advertisements getting in the way to help distracting the students. So CNN is a great site because it allows you to do some editing features on the website with your article and get rid of these distractions. So one way to do that, say, if we want to pick this article, U.S. flies bombers over South Korea. So if you want to see the full story, you click on that. And once you have the full story, you're going to see a print icon at the top right. Okay, so there's print, email, or sharing, and I'm going to want you to hit the print. And it's going to optimize the content, which basically means it's going to remove all the unnecessary ads and pop-ups. So on the left here, you've got some editing tools to make the font bigger, smaller, less ink, which is kind of grays out the font, and images to use less ink. That's more if you're printing, so don't worry about that. And remove images if you don't want them to have any pictures in there. It'll just take it away. Okay, so if you want to undo anything you do, you just hit the undo button. It'll bring the images back. And if you want to add a note, it's a good way to kind of steer your students into what you want them to do on the assignment. So for this one, say you want them to read this article and you want them to identify the main idea of the article. So you could write that note right in there, just using that add a note feature again. You could also say identify where the thesis of the article is. It's located. And then finally, provide a summary. Summarize the article using your own words in 3 to 5 sentences. So you've made your note, you've got the font you want to keep the images or not. And now the next thing you're going to want to do in order to allow them to edit it or watch you edit and annotate and highlight certain things is click on a little PDF icon. And it's going to generate this in a PDF document that you can then highlight. So we'll hit the PDF document. You'll say open it. Let it do its little magic. Hopefully this doesn't take longer than I expect. Okay, here we go. Beautiful. So now you have a nice clean document. You've still got the link to the article up there should you want to go back and reference some more stuff. But as you can see, it's just, there's no ads, there's no other articles. It's just strictly content related to the article. So it clears up a lot of confusion and unnecessary distraction that our students encounter a lot on the websites. So again, at the top here, you've got a note feature. If you want to add a sticky note to anything, you can have them take notes as they're writing. You can use your highlight text to highlight, that thesis and main idea. So if you're reading over this, you find your thesis right here in this topic sentence. So the United States said Thursday it flew stealth bombers over South Korea to participate in annual military exercises amid spiking tensions with North Korea. Okay, and now it's highlighted. Okay, so there's your thesis. So if you want to identify, let students know where the thesis is, you can mark this with a note. Put a note right here and say thesis statement. Okay, so right away we've got our thesis statement highlighted. Put a note in that lets you know, okay, here's where your thesis statement is. This is the main idea of the article. So another thing you might want to do is, as you're going through, have them identify and highlight vocabulary that they may not know. So if you want to minimize this note, so as we're working through, you're reading through here, inert, I'm sure not a lot of them know. Use that highlight feature. Munitions, okay. So just have them go through on their own, maybe before you even go through the reading, and just highlight words that they don't know, and you can go through with a class using some vocab pre-reading strategies to see and define what those words are to help ease up their frustrations when they read, so they have a little better understanding. That's another good tool as well. And if you wanted to just put notes in there and define it again, you can hit this note icon, click on what you want to make a note towards, so say right here, and then you'll add that. You'll just double click once you hit the word, and you'll define munitions, which I don't even know what it means, so I'm going to have to quickly go look that up. I think that's relating to ammunitions, but let's just see. Munitions. Definition. Let's see what that is. Munitions. Just want to get the accurate definition here. Okay. War material, especially weapons and ammunition, used often in the plural. Okay, great. So now we've got this whole thing here. We can just copy that, right click, copy, put that back within our note here. And now we have a nice definition for the word munitions, okay, and a phonetic spelling as well. So pretty cool stuff. So that's one way you could really help to use the screencast-o-matic with your kids if they're to go home, read an article, identifying how to highlight, how to annotate. You can put your directions right here in the top and put these little notes to identify key vocabulary, summarize, and also identify thesis statements to help them understand. So, yeah.